Okay, enough of the chatter. Enough of the who's going to win this game. It is time to get it on. It's time to get the World Cyber Games 2010 open up with Counter-Strike 1.6. It's Team EG versus Face2Face on DE Train. And we are about to go live on 3. I thought I'd get that one in. That was just a special for DJ Win. If you're listening, Marcus, just showing you're not here. Here we go then. As we say, Group E, the first half, we'll see EG on CT side. I almost think that's a travesty, really, because we'll see whether we get a full game or not. And as we should explain to you online, actually, you're going to hear both myself and Alex commentate through the game, but the crowd have been denied the opportunity to listen to us. I think it's probably a good idea first thing in the morning because I'm a bit croaky anyway. Right, we've got things going already. Tommy's opened things up with an opening shot on N10 with a headshot. Frog comes in with the HE on 6. As there are already 2 men down here. Make that 3. D-Born shuts down Yoshu. Storm in for Rara. This is a steamroller round for the Americans. They've got 1 man to find, and it's the only man that didn't go head-to-head with a gun. And Glock in hand, Major now is heading back towards the CT spawn area here, and well, he's been not detected. And finally does come under fire from Fraud, shut down, no change out of that one, and a very straightforward pistol round for the CT side at EG. And Alex, I think, is that going to be the pattern we're going to see for the next few rounds?
You know, that steamroller round probably was exactly what we're going to see a lot of these rounds. They're coming out strong. They don't want to give them a chance. They're starting off CT. They really got to make it count. And I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. You know, that's what they need to do if they want to pull off the win.
All right, well, second round's underway. Why don't you take us into that round? Obviously, gun round for EG. Face-to-face will be on the defensive. What are we going to see?
For the T-side, face-to-face, they're coming through here. They got a lot working their way into ladder room. Nothing's going to take down N10. Fraud falling in with a frag onto Rara with that M4. D-Born pulling off the Famasco. Storm will follow that up with a kill on Major, and to end it will be D-Born pulling out that pistol onto Sixer.
Well, it's as you'd expect, really. I mean, it's a buy round against a nothing round. But there wasn't an awful lot of organisation, I have to say, from the French there, really. They kind of, for want of a better phrase, they did surrender that round. You know, you still need to make a fist of it. You still need to make a game of it when you're playing these pistol rounds. And I just get the sense that early on, they're a little bit shell-shocked here. They haven't got a frag yet either. And we've seen 10 in a row from EG without reply. Let's see what we see in round 3. What we see is a double from nothing. Storm shutting down Rara with the M4. And he'll get his double. And D-Born sandwich kill as well. So that's 15 without reply. And that's not a good start for Face2Face. But now, Alex, it's kind of evened up a little bit. They can actually get some cash. And in theory at least, we should see a buy round now.
Right, coming into the 4th round here will be buy round for Face-to-Face. Hopefully they can pull something off, not get shut down so easily. They're going to work 2 outside, 3 inner. Maybe they're going to, I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll see what happens. Storm coming through. They got the setup. D-Born and Tubby going to get a little aggressive here coming in. And D-Born going to pick up that frag on a Rara. Headshot from the off.
Oh.
Sixer taking down Tubby with that AWP. Storm going to finish off Major. D-Born with a headshot from the FAMAS onto Yosho. All down to a 3-on-2. N10 and Sixer have those guns. AWP and the AK. Storm, nothing in Fraud, going to hold it down. Hopefully, Fraud with the headshot from the AWP. Amazing. Storm also going to pick up a frag on the N10, and that'll end the round.
You know what? I think that was a slightly stickier round for EG. Sixer actually got himself a couple of kills in there, so he's off the mark. They've finally got some frags, and you know, it's difficult sometimes when you're up against the wall and you're under pressure from such a great team like EG on the back of a big win already in the last time that they played in. And you've got to get something out of the game. They want to take a few rounds out of this at the very least. And we've already spoken about how CT biased Train can be, and you know how difficult it can be playing against a team who are as good as EG are with the strats that they have on such a CT biased map. But they've got to get something out of it. It's simple as that. We'll see what they do here in round 4. They've got an unusual setup here. They've left 2 in the top holes. They've gone 3 Ivy here, but nothing has already picked up 1. That might be the decoy, though, as D-Born has also picked himself up. Now, I wonder if they're going to figure this one out, that the push will come from Ivy. Let's just wait and see. Sixer has the bomb in hand. Storm is waiting. Rara, and Entep there. Storm unleashes the shots on Sixer and downs him. D-Bomb picks up another one. D-Bomb finishes things off. And yet again, it's a straightforward round for the Americans. And never mind 5-0, it's currently 25-2 in terms of frags. Count them. Just 2 for the French so far.
So we're going to see another round start off here. They got the basic setup so far, EG that is. But in fact, they're only going to play one inner, that'll be Tubby. They got a good setup outside, very strong defense. Hopefully they get another good round. So we're going to finish off Entep quickly here. Very quickly, only a minute 26 seconds into the round. Sorry, left in the round. So that was a very quick start there. The French team, face-to-face, will be working inside slowly. They will have one with the bomb there in the halls where it's down at 3-5 in favor of Team EG, representing the U.S. here. Sixer. Oh, I'm sorry, 4-5. Sixer, low health though, very low HP. Rara comes up, Storm gonna take him down. That was pretty quick there. And Sixer trying to get that op shot. Storm too quick for him. He will finish him off with that M4. Yosho slowly gonna work his way 2-4. Storm, oh my goodness. Headshot, he is a monster this round. That M4 is definitely his strong point. Major coming up, finally somebody showing Storm up there. He'll answer back with that AK. All left up to Major and his AK-47 going for that bomb up in Whitehall's, down the ladder. D-Born gonna be waiting, Major not having that. Onto him quickly, the reflexes will be used quite well there. Gonna fake his way back up, coming back down, Fraud. There comes that AWP we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, well, good patient play by EG. They lost a couple of men in that round, and Major made a bit of a nuisance of himself, despite the fact that Storm was really strong. But good patient play from Fraud. We've seen it time and time again over the years. We know how powerful and how accurate he is with that AWP. Showed us exactly why he is considered one of the greatest players in the world right now in Counter-Strike. It's great to see him back in 1.6 as well. It's been a little while, but a little dabble with Source. But I still think he's by far and away one of the greatest talents America's had over the last 10 years at 1.6. And he's showing it. 6-0, 6-0, 6-zip. Doesn't matter what you want to say, it's exactly the same score no matter what the country is. EG currently steamrolling face-to-face from France. And really, you'd expect nothing less. Round 7 is underway. They've actually made a 4-man push here. Actually, it's a 3-man push. They've left Entep back. And Sixer, Yosha, and Major have all made their way through to that back hall, and that's Fraud territory. And Fraud says no entry. D-Born shuts down Major as well. They've got 2 gone. And they're already trying to push into this site. They won't be able to get in there. Tubby picking up the M4 kill. Straight forward from him. And now Entep with bomb in hand. Is he going to... Well, I was going to say, is he going to try and push outside? He's not going to push outside. Nothing, though, will shut him down. Entep replies back there. Starting to pick up a few kills here, but Entep, look at that. 7 points of health. Has no way on this planet of getting to either bomb site right now with 25 seconds to go. And 4 EG men. And Storm will pick up yet another frag. It's very, very straightforward right now. I'm almost bored by it, Alex. It's almost like the Germans have taken over the American team because this is German-like efficiency.
They're doing quite well. They're really picking it up. 7-0 right now going into the 8th round. I think face-to-face is really feeling the pressure. Hopefully they're better on CT side, and it's going to be a lot easier for them. Hence, it's a CT side.
Well, you say that, but they're going to have to at least get a couple of rounds here. And Tubby, look at that treble from him. Yeah,
triple killing. Finishing him off. Fraud. Obviously, not going to let them go anywhere long range on this map. It's just not going to happen.
Well, if you're watching this back at home, wherever you're watching it, whatever time zone you're in, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Sorry for boring the hell out of you. It's not our fault, it's EvilGeniuses. You can write and complain to Alex Garfield and complain that his team are boring. But, the fact is they're being efficient. They're doing exactly what they need. We'll joke, we'll have a bit of a laugh about it, but, these early group games, they are what they are. You have to play them. You have to get something going. Now, we might have something on here. Somehow, they found a little chink in the American armour. The French have 2 down already. Joshua and Entep have made their way towards this inner bomb site, the A site. 8-0 down. And Fraud, oh, he's missed one. Hello, there's one for the book. Peek one more, son, you're going to lose your head. Wow, 2 in a row from Fraud, still not landed. somehow that commentator's curse has played its part, because Yoshu has picked up a third EG kill. And that makes it a 5 versus 2. Rara kills Frod. Now it's on. It's really on. Storm, last man alive. 1v4, not going to happen. And Sixer picks up the first round of the game for the French. And you know what? That could be a turning point.
Definitely a crucial round. It's very exciting to see a team who's getting, you know, like you said, steamrolled.
They were getting hammered.
Yeah, basically, that's a long story short.
And then what we did, Alex, we introduced what's called the commentary curse.
Yeah.
By saying, you know what, they're boring, they're winning every round, and EG must have either heard me, got a telegram from their manager,
something happened.
Or we saw some great rounds from Face2Face.
But it looks like nothing coming up strong here on the 10th round after letting Face2Face win one. He'll take down Major, first frag of the round. Wait, I'm sorry. Second frag. Rara coming in on Fraud. That's going to take down any long-range defense that EG really has. Tubby coming up from behind the flank. They already have taken inner. That is, of course, Face2Face. Sixer onto D-Born with that AWP. With Fraud down, Sixer's really going to have a lot more room to work here. Nothing with Rara. Following that up, answering back will be Yosho on a Storm with a headshot. Tubby. Oh, man. Yosho thought he was free after getting that frag. Not quite. All down to a 1-on-2. Hopefully Sixer can use that long-range AWP to help him win this round. But we will have to see what's going on. Good teamwork so far. The coordination by Nothing and Tubby. But Sixer going to pop out. Nothing doesn't even expect it. Taken down. Instant reaction. Sixer will hopefully prove that he can hang with the big guys. They made it here, so obviously they got something. So it's all down to a 1-on-1. They're really close to each other. Sixer coming up, but Tubby too quick with the headshot. Oh my goodness, that was a close round.
Do you know what, Alex? He did the hard work. He did the hard work. The pick before as a 2 versus 1, that was the tough shot. He got that one. The second shot should have been easier, really, and they both came face to face, and he's lost the round. I think that's a round loss for the French, and what a key round that could be, because you know what? You win that one, you put EG on the back foot, you start to make them have money problems. Who knows? They could have picked up the third round. 3 rounds on train on T-side. Yeah, we're starting to move into sort of dodgy territory of maybe this is a game, but I don't know. 9-1, I think this is game over already. We'll see. Tubby on fire right now in a bomb site. Has already locked himself down, a kill on Yoshu. As D-Born surveys the outer bomb site. Grenades unleashed. Flashes exploding. Storm completely blind just outside Ivy. Six has picked himself up a frag on D-Born, and Storm has got to get himself out of there. He's got some support here from Nothing as well. But between them, they've got to pick up the headshots, and Nothing does. Brilliant from him. Rara shelling down Frog. Major comes back in. Now got himself another frag, and we're at a 2 versus 2 now. Make that 2 versus 1. Tubby's got himself a second. Rara, last man standing. Has he got the skirt to stand still? No, he hasn't. Storm locks him down. EG 10, France 1.
You know, there is one thing I'm going to have to point out. They EG very obviously started off very strong, and France was, you know, just they had no chance at first. But now the rounds are a lot closer, so I'm sure they're warming up, getting a feel for the map, who they're playing against.
You're right, Alex. And the other thing as well to say here is this is on stage. It's different. The Americans are used to this. They've been in the spotlight for many years. Nothing's got his face on a billboard that's like 50 foot high outside LAX airport here. So he knows he's fine with it. But the French guys, yeah, it's going to take a little while for them to blend in, get used to this, and settle their nerves. Meanwhile, let's get back to the action, because Nothing and Fraud are both combining to just destroy Face2Face right now.
Yeah, Fraud coming in strong. Tubby with a couple of frags on Entep and Yosho. Oh my goodness, Nothing. That round, you know, it was a little drawn out, but once it got started, that was over really quick in favor of Team EG. 11-1 now.
So 3 rounds left, and you can see the French, they're talking, but there's not a lot happening for them. I think, you know, in a way, we joke, but they had an opportunity to go and grab 3 rounds. And
definitely.
3 rounds on T-side, train against EG. I would take that. If you'd said to me, you can destroy the first half, you can have 3 rounds, you can start in the second. I would take 3 rounds. Absolutely. Trouble is, they kind of blew it, and I'm not so sure now that they're going to get another chance. EG don't give away rounds that easily.
Definitely. Once they got that momentum to help them go, they're gonna run with it. Major gonna get that frag onto Storm. Sixer's a little low. He's their AWPer, as you know by now. Fraud picking off Major. So it's a 3-on-4 or 4-on-4, but Sixer's really low, so he's going to have to play very conservative with that op. He's coming out here in the ladder. We got a couple guys outside that bomb. Will be down Ra with a frag on a fraud. Nothing with Entep. Oh man, it's getting crazy. I'm sure they feel they're in the lead right now for this round. But D-Born answering back on to Sixer. It's a 2-on-2. AKs versus M4s. Classic 2-on-2 situation here on Train. They're kind of spread out a little too thin on the map, though. Opposite sides, you know, and that's going to prove to be bad because D-Born takes off Yosho, and you know, and Ra won't be there to help get him, help save him, even pick up the frag for a good trade. He's got to go for that bomb right now. There's going to be nothing waiting up in heaven, and that's going to end that round.
Well, that's pretty much curtains, really, for Face2Face. They're 12-1 down, and you can see it in their faces already. They know. Crowd are happy, though. That's good.
I think they are a little disappointed in how they've been playing, but we'll see second half. It is CT-sided, but I don't know at this rate if it's going to be much in their favor.
No, you're right. They need at least one more round. It has to be said. They have to take at least one of these last two. We've played 13. 2 to go for the half. If you're not familiar with Counter-Strike, we play 15 rounds each half, so that the teams have what effectively is an even chances. Nothing will open up. 2 in a row from him. Entep shutting him down, though. Recoil, not a good show. Oh, dearie me. That's not good, Yosho. That is not good indeed. He's managed to take down his own teammate. Not just I mean, admittedly, it was a great headshot, but wrong team, sir. He's now going to be on his own, and he's going to come face to face with Storm, and he's going to pick up that frag. And that'll make it 2 versus 1 now. Is this a turning round maybe here? Bomb in hand, in Whitehall's, Frod and Tubby against Yoshu. Edges forward, can't get the frag. Tubby locks it down, and that'll be EG's round. And 13-1, it's almost within their reach. And they're making light work of this, I have to say.
Definitely, and the fact that they're at their hometown, they got to feel as most comfortable as you can get in a situation like this. You know, and they've been to a lot of major tournaments, and they really know what's going on. They're with it. They've obviously been practicing, so it's paying off. It's very clear that it's paying off. They're going to do a fake strat, it looks like, sending the bomb one direction while multiples work the other direction.
Yep. This is what I call a Corrin strat. You won't be familiar with that, but trust me, when you play mixing with Corrin, he'll call these crazy strats. That's one of them. He'll wander off with the bomb. We'll make diversions. We'll all die, and he'll plant the bomb. And he still doesn't win the round. Let's see whether Face2Face have got any better than Corrin has. Maybe they have. Storm, though, again, shutting down that side of Ivy with a straightforward kill on Major. But he did take a lot of damage in there. He's down to 11 points of health, so he's going to have to be careful and withdraw, make a more defensive show here. Flash comes around the corner on an Entep. He's trying to edge out of Ivy, but just can't seem to find an exit. Doesn't matter whether Storm's got 11 points of health. He can still stand his ground. Nothing then. Exchanges frags with Sixer. Entep gets the revenge. 4 versus 3. Make it 4 versus 2. D-Born now goes huge on Yoshu in those back halls, and Entep and Rara still trying to edge their way out of Ivy. Can't make their way through. Checking Heaven. Checking that 5 train. Now trying to make their way through. They check that far side. Not well enough, though. D-Born picks up the frag on Entep. And that is that, really, this round, because Rara is last man standing against 4 EvilGeniuses. And I can tell you, they are evil. 4 versus 1. Can he get anything out of this round? 16 seconds remaining. It's not on. It's not going to happen unless he pushes into this site now, which is all he can do because of the time running down. And Frod will pick up an easy kill. And that'll be that for the first half. It's Team EG 14, Face2Face 1. Not a good first half, Alex, if you're a French fan.
They definitely came out strong. EG looking good on that CT side, really showing you that it's CT sided, and they took the momentum and they rolled with it. They really went with it.
As you'd expect then. So, confirmation of that Group E first half game here on D-Train. The Americans from EvilGeniuses leading France's Face2Face by 14-1. Just 2 more rounds required to claim overall victory. Don't forget, of course, this is one of those group games, so they'll play all 30 to see how many points they gain. They can play their part as well. They don't want to let up too much at half-time thinking, you know, this is comfortable, 14-1. They want to try and get as many rounds on the board as possible, just in case anything quirky goes wrong during the group stage. So we're about to get underway for our second half. It is Team EG versus Face2Face. 2 more rounds required as EvilGeniuses switch over to the T side. And we are live. Let's see what we come up with then in terms of strats. We saw how poor the French were in their pistol round. They literally could have stood against the wall and let themselves be shot really easily by EG, and had no real strategy whatsoever. I wouldn't expect a massive difference when we see EG. And you can see all 5 right now together, set up. Look at the way they've set themselves as well. One man will launch the smoke down low. Major's got the inkling they might just be pushing that in a bomb site, and he's got a very good inkling because that's exactly where they're going to go right now. Or are they? This could be a bluff, although no, it's not. Frod, top of the train, tries to land the first frag, can't do so, has to back away, took a lot of damage in that. HE's rained down on top of the bomb site. They will get that bomb planted though, and Nothing and D-Born have picked themselves up a couple of headshots. Is this the third one? Oh, Rara down by D-Born. He's got himself a 2. Nothing in on NTEP, and 6 are his last man standing. And it's 5 versus 1. Make that 5 versus Nothing. And Nothing is your winner of the round. Tubby with the final kill. That's 15-1. It's almost game over. It's one more round.
Yeah, that almost looks exactly like the first half, but reversed role. So I'm not surprised, to be honest. They really have the momentum. Despite that one, I'm going to have to say it fluke that the Face2Face got. I'm going to have to give it to EG. It's a little obvious at this point they're not going to go undefeated for the rest of the rounds to bring a comeback and go into overtime.
I think the key thing as well here is that, you know, they have the money advantage now. They have the AKs. They have bombed down in that first round as well. Oh, careful enough. He's going to pick his own teammate down there. Storm does pick up 1. Major came back in with the headshot revenge kill, and they're 1 for 1. But here's their chance to take it. Wow, Major and Yoshu, hello. Yoshu with another one. Nothing finally gets rid of what an annoyance he was, and a double from Nothing in quick time has shot himself down. He's the last man alive here. This would be a 4-on-1 right now. It's 2 versus 1. Rara's not actually that stacked with health. Doesn't have a great deal, less than 20. NTEP's fully stacked. They went Deagle, so they Deagle bought, and that's paid off for them because they've now got an advantage here. 2 versus 1, 45 seconds remaining, and Nothing. Well, if you want anyone alive right now in this situation, you'd want him with rifle in hand. Let's see what he can do in the back of this middle train. 35 seconds remaining. Pressure now starting to mount on the man who adorns the large-scale advertising hoardings just all over LA right this week as the bomb is about to go down. And look at this, NTEP's got himself a weapon. It's not a great weapon, but it'll do. And now fires off towards Nothing. Oh, NTEP wins the battle. What a stunning reply. And the French have got themselves back into this game. Amazingly, they will get the defuse. No kit, doesn't matter. And that'll be 15 times. I was about to say, Alex, key thing here is they've got to take advantage when they've got the weapon advantage when you're on T side to clean this game up, to lock it down, to not give away any silly rounds. I rest my case. They've given away a silly round.
You know, it's to be expected. I'm going to have to say, like I said before, that was probably a fluke. I really don't think Face2Face is going to run with it too far. They might get a couple more rounds in the fact that they did win. It was a pretty crucial round. They got an eco. It's one of the biggest rounds you can get for a turnaround. And here we go into the action. Major with a headshot on the Storm quickly. He's going to be on the side there. Oh my God, what a cleanup. There will be a 3rd round for Face2Face. They have proved me wrong in this situation. Now they got that money advantage. Let's see how far they can really go with the momentum turned into their favor.
You know, I always wonder about these group games at the World Title Games. It's always difficult because, you know, it's early, you're new to the computers, you're on the stage, it's all a bit different, and it's the first game of the tournament. So, you know, you don't want to show too many tactics, you don't want to show the other big teams your big strats, but at the same time you want a clean game, you want to lock it down, and that's not what HG are doing right now. And Rara's picked himself up too. One of them's an HG. Sixer came in with another one on the back of that, and Storm and Tubby, oh hello, Sixer double, Storm and Tubby completely at sea through the fog, and 3 men left. Face2Face have a 3rd round this half, a 4th overall. It's 15-4, and EG will now be on a save.
Yeah, you can see them contemplating what's going wrong there. They're going to try and fix that very quickly. They really don't want to lose any more rounds. They're going to make looks like a quick rush. Possibly inner. Yep, here they go. Working their way to that side. Yosho to be there. Beautiful nade. Taking another one down. Major with a nade and a frag from the M4, as well as Yosho and Major picking up that 3rd frag onto Tubby to give the French team Face2Face one more round. Oh, man.
You know, no offense, but the Americans are funny as a crowd, aren't they? Sometimes the crowd out here are weird. I've only ever heard cheers and claps for the French team, and yet you would think we're in Paris right now, but we're not. We're actually in the downtown area of Los Angeles, coming to you live over WCG.com in association with Samsung, of course, our lead sponsor. And I don't hear any Americans cheering right now. Maybe they're just blasé. Maybe they're looking at it and going, you know what? EG should be doing better than this. We shouldn't be losing rounds right now. It's 15-5. I'm not going to start calling game on, but you know what? Face2Face are making a bit of a game of this, and they took a big gamble in that second round by buying Deagles. And, well, you say that big gamble, maybe not such a big gamble, but it worked for them. And now they've got themselves in a position where if they don't lose any more rounds, they can still draw this game. Oh, hello, Sixer one, Sixer with a double! That's a triple in the game as well. 3 in a row, 2 shots, 3 kills, and Frod is the last man standing, finally locks down Sixer. What a fabulous piece of play. Flash went round the corner. The first shot was great. The second shot was sublime.
You gotta wonder if it was the fact that EG came out lined up or if he was really just that quick.
I don't care. You know, when they're like that and it's a double, they're just brilliant.
It's awesome to see. It's a very rare thing, especially at a tournament like this. I hope we see a lot more of that.
Do you know what? 5 years ago, I remember sitting in this exact same spot in Singapore watching Shagwar getting knifed by an Australian team back then. You know what I said at the time? That guy will remember that. He'll be telling his grandchildren in about 60 years. I think Sixer will be doing the same thing. Incredible. 3 in a row from him and a double. Now into the next round. 21 rounds played already, and I tell you what, EG are making a real ham-fisted attempt to win this game right now, but they have the advantage here. There's their chance. 3 versus 2. Storm, Tubby and Frog. We haven't even discussed, actually, at this point, the lack or the loss of Lurpis. They've got 2 players that don't usually play with these guys playing this team. I wonder what that effect is. I'm not going to blame that right now, as Frog will lock down the game. And finally gets them to 16. And a polite round of applause from the crowd, because they have finally reached the magic number. The magic number being 16 in Counter-Strike 1.6, of course. And at least that's the game in the bag. Now it's all about racking up some rounds. But let's go back to that point, Alec. I spoke to Storm just before the game. I spoke to Danny Montana before the game. They both said, and they admitted straight up, you know, yeah, losing Lurpis is a big deal. It does make a big deal. Does it make a difference when they're playing teams of lesser caliber? And I'm not saying that, you know, the French aren't good. We've shown that they've got some skills, but they're not considered to be one of the favourites of the tournament. And he said, yeah, it's harder in the later rounds. It's going to be really tough without him calling every round when we meet someone really tough. So that's what they say. That's straight from the horse's mouth.
Well, you know, not only is he's a good caller for them, but he's a key player in the fact that he plays with the team. He's good. And, you know, I'm sure it's also hard. They just lost at Ease, you know, so they had to replace him with a new player. That'll be Deborn. Yeah. And so 2 new players this early, or no, I mean, so late towards the tournament.
I think it's also worth pointing out they have played with Tubby before, so they know Tubby. He's one of their regulars. Deborn's played with them in scrims as well. So, you know, it's not like they're completely unfamiliar with these players. They have messed around with the guys. They know them. They know their games. They know their strengths and weaknesses. They will slot in. But I don't care what you say. It's always difficult when you change players in and out, and you can't underestimate the impact of losing a player I think has been 2010's best player, and that's Lurpis. So, you know, we'll see. Right now, they're making a bit of a mess of this round. They're 16-6 up. They've won the game, but they want the extra rounds now. And Storm is the last man alive here against 3 French players, Major, Rara, and Sixer. And you'd have to say, with about, what? I'd say that's 10 points of health. Don't be fooled. That's not 100 health. It was about 10 points of health. And Major will pick up that frag fairly straightforwardly. So that is 16-7. We're moving into sort of respectable territory now for the French.
Yeah, Face2Face, obviously disappointed at their loss, I'm sure. Just trying to give EvilGeniuses a hard time, get as many more rounds as I can.
Well, it could play a part for them as well. I mean, more so than it will for EG. EG expected to win every game, advance to the next round. That'll be that. Face2Face, by no means a guaranteed of making the next round. So every round that they get against EG is a round more that their opponents have to get. As Entep and Rara pick up a double apiece. Major will finish off the 5th. That was an eco anyway. And that'll be another round in the bag. And there's always a question mark over these sort of second places as to how they work out who goes through. And the rounds can play a part. So every round is good for the French right now.
That's definitely true. And we're seeing it here. I'm sure EG's really relaxed. I don't know if they're trying to get too many rounds. I mean, they've done what they really want to do.
But you say that, and we've had mistakes made in the past. I've seen teams relax, enjoy the game, not worry about the rounds too much, and win 16-14, and then at some point in the competition, they slip up against someone, they lose their advantage, and then they're thrown into a three-way tie over rounds, and guess what? They go out of the competition. They go home. I've seen it year after year after year. I've seen the Russians go home early. I've seen the Americans go home early. I've seen all sorts of different great teams come to the WCG and not make it out of the groups for that precise reason. So I wouldn't relax.
Yeah, that's true. But you also got to think of it in the perspective as, you know, now that they've won, that's obviously something that can happen. But they don't. Earlier we were talking about how maybe they're playing a little bit more lax because they don't want to show away too many of their strats and abilities on upcoming matches.
Yeah, it's always a difficult balance to find, and I think when you're faced with a game like this where it's such a CT biased map anyway, getting to 16 is actually a huge achievement. Once you've got it, that's kind of it. You will relax into the game a bit more. But I still stick by what I said. I think they need to take as many rounds as they can, play seriously, don't give away too many strats, find the right balance between the two. I think that's what it is more than anything else. It's a balance. They're doing pretty well right now, though. Frog's picked himself up another one. They've got a 4 versus 3. They did win the last round, so it's 17-8 right now. And I think the French have warmed up, I have to say. They were awful in the first 8 rounds. I mean, appalling.
Definitely.
I think I could have probably beaten them with my hands behind my back and my eyes closed. They were that bad. After that, they got a little lucky break. They got themselves a round. They could have got themselves 2 or 3 in the first half. If you're just joining us on WCG.com, just wrapping up that first half where EG dominated 14-1. But there were small little chinks in the armour that the French could have exploited. They didn't, and they've paid the price. They've lost the game. But they've got themselves some rounds on the board, and I think that's about all they could ever take from this. Especially if you said before the game they came in and you said, all right, we'll give you 8 rounds and we'll give EG the match. I think the French would have probably said, yeah, that's probably okay. Well, we're all right with 8 rounds. That'll do. Although, when it's such a CT bias map, what do you say? Do you say, well, actually, at 114? I don't know. It's not possible anymore. We've got 4 rounds remaining. Let's get back into the action, see what's going on. Six are exchanging frags with nothing there, and then Entep picking up the frag, the revenge frag, with the pistol. And now we've got ourselves a 4 versus 3. Devil trying to work the outside here with a teammate. Yoshi waiting in the... can't quite work out where he is right now. Is that? Oh, hello! Well, that's where he was. He was in Z, and Yoshi did pick up the frag on Tubby. Storm with the revenge frag. Kind of got caught there with his trousers down, but luckily recovered. And now we've got a 3 versus 1 on an eco, I might remind you. And Storm is last man alive, no longer dropped by Entep. That's a great round from the French. That was an eco.
And that was definitely how it should be done. They used teamwork. Every time they could out-strategize and get more guys versus less guys, they really took advantage of that, I noticed. Yeah. And it worked. Yeah.
I was going to just point out the fact that Lurpis was actually in the background there behind the team. And I want to point this out because it's important. He's not allowed to say anything during a round. He cannot talk to the team at all. He can only give them strats and advice at the beginning of the game. And I think that's really difficult. A, because, well, he can't give them anything, as Yoshi will pick up another round for the French. We're moving into sort of last 2 rounds now. He can't give them any advice. You see him right now. He's giving Storm some ideas on strats that he wants him to run that round. That's what he's doing right there. Other than that first 5 seconds of dead, he cannot talk to the team. And that's got to be really tough. It's also annoying, I know this from the past, when you've got a guy behind you and you have to keep lifting off your headset, listening to what he's saying, listening to what your teammates are saying, and then relaying that strat back. And all the time you're trying to buy, you're trying to work out what you can afford. They're going to have to try and perfect that as they go through this tournament. And it'll be interesting to see how that one works out.
Yeah, it's already an uncomfortable situation, and I agree, taking off your headphones, at the beginning of every round, and then having to put them back on and relay that message and buy all your stuff. Exactly like you said, that's not going to be, it's not going to be too easy to do.
It's not. It'll be interesting how that works out. Right, we're in the last round then. Ladies and gents, the opening game of the World Cyber Games 2010 here from Los Angeles, live via WCG.com all over the globe. With me, Paul Renard-Channel, alongside me, Alex Hamill, for the final round of Counter-Strike 1.6, EG 18, face-to-face 11, and looking to try and make this one 12. 3 versus 3 now. Sixer picks himself up an AWP kill on Fraud, no less. Tubby replies back. We're at 3 versus 2. Storm, nothing. Tubby against Yoshu and Entep. in a 3 versus 2 with 1:10 remaining in the final round. Not a major deal. Oh, nothing a tubby clean house. And that'll be GG as Team EG claim a very comfortable victory in the end. Alex, your final thoughts on the game?
Yeah, you know, the first round was probably the most crucial round of the whole match. They really picked it up, played strong. Here go the teams now, the handshakes. Congratulations, Team EG, on your first victory here at the grand finals for the World Cyber Games 2010 in Los Angeles.
That was you know, textbook really from EG. They came, they saw, they conquered. They got those first 8 rounds on the board. It was pretty straightforward in the first half. French put up a little bit of resistance towards that second half, and I think the deco that they had in the second round really helped them gain some momentum and pick up some frags and pick up some rounds in that second half. Who knows whether that will help them in the group stage? It might. You don't know. That's the way it works in the group stage. That is the win confirmed for EvilGeniuses. Team USA kicked things off on home soil with a fantastic victory. Straightforward? Yes. Boring? At times. But it was definitely efficient.
Congratulations,
so
and you know, good job to both the teams. They played, I'm sure, their best, and mistakes were made. Things will be learned.
I think both teams will pick up a lot from that. You know, I think it'll be interesting to see how that kind of tactical thing works. But who knows? We'll see how it works out for EG as they make their way through the groups. They are expected to qualify. We'll have to see whether we see face-to-face again. We do have some more Counter-Strike 1.6 coming up tomorrow. But for now, from Los Angeles, we'll see you soon.